Well, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the light heavyweight bout between Dominick Reyes versus Jiri Prochazka. And let's get into this one. So, a quick pick, Reyes versus Prochazka. So, Prochazka has a 3-inch reach advantage, a 3-year youth advantage, and more than twice as many fights as Dominick Reyes. So, Reyes, I think, has 14 fights, and Prochazka has 31. So more than twice as many fights for Prochazka. He's younger by 3 years, but has more than twice as much experience, and actually has been a champion outside of this organization, in a major organization. Whereas Dom Reyes, could have, would have, and the decision just didn't go away. Could have been a UFC champion, but he's not. Could have been again against Jan Blachowicz, but Blachowicz, there is no coulda, woulda. He got knocked out. So no insult to Reyes. I'm just saying it how it is. But this is a quick pick, and no need for the backstory. How I see this one right here is Prochazka, the more volume striker, the more front-footed striker. Kind of a weird mix of kickboxing, karate. I wouldn't really say boxing is a big strength of Prochazka. I would not say that. I would say like a kickboxing, semi-karate. Just makes his own skill set. I don't know if any of that is like a training, like a discipline, or more so just him being him. I just say he's a creative out there in the cage, and it's gonna be good and bad. And I think against Reyes, I'm picking Reyes. I think it could be a case of where it's going to be a case of where his creativity and his style plays against him actually in this one. You can kind of look at the Blachowicz fight and say, oh, this guy's going to pressure. This guy's unorthodox, just like Blachowicz is. He's unorthodox. He's going to pressure. He's going to bring the pace. He's going to mix up the kicks in there. I don't think his kicks definitely his body kicks not nearly as heavy as Blachowicz's kicks. And Blachowicz I think hand power is a little bit. He's packing a lot more power than initially when he first came in the UFC. So I would say Blachowicz has this overall just has more power than Prochazka, and also I think his defense is a little bit better than Prochazka, well, a lot better than Prochazka, especially in given sense that Prochazka's allowing like pretty much any level of fighter to counter him when he gets aggressive. Like he kind of hangs the head down. A lot of times he's falling over his punches. It could be a very dangerous style. And even the Volkan Oezdemir fight, it was no ifs and no buts. Like unless you're just a terrible judge, that first round went to Volkan Oezdemir, and pretty much everyone knew it outside of people that just don't know nothing. Volkan Oezdemir won that first round. But what does that mean when you got knocked out in the second round? It don't mean nothing. But again, it's stuff to pick at and try to come to a conclusion on and make your analysis based off. And really even outside of fighting, King Mo first fight, and then even in the second fight, and even some of his fights against, names that really don't stick out. A lot of times he's falling over his punches and are leading with his head and walking into punching range, and that could get you countered. And going against a guy like Reyes, who is a counter puncher, and a pretty good one at that, especially in the realms of MMA. I want to say maybe pure boxing, he's an amazing counter striker, or any pure kickboxing sport. And again, Prochazka's not really true world class striker. I wouldn't classify him as a true world class striker. I feel like a lot of higher level strikers would exploit his flaws, and because even fighters that aren't world class strikers have been able to exploit it. Have they really been able to follow through on it? For the most part, they haven't. Like, the only person who really followed through on it was King Mo. Other people were able to at least stun him, maybe even drop him or make him slip, but because he was all balanced. But again, leads in with his head after he gets aggressive, and he starts to lead and walk in like with his head forward, like they're hanging, drooping, and that could get you countered. You walk up into the uppercut from Reyes, the left uppercut, or left straight, or maybe even a checker, but more so from Reyes, it's going to be left straight or left uppercut, and I could see him definitely falling into those shots. And if Reyes would even just work a jab to the body, I see that happening even earlier on in the fight. Could even be a first round, could even be in under 2 minutes. Just work to the jab to the body. But again, a lot of people that Prochazka have not really been great, phenomenal. I mean, not even say phenomenal, decent to good boxers. They haven't been. But a simple little implementation of a jab to the body will put him on line, put him on sights for the straight punch. The straight, whether it be left or right, because his head already hanging there. Once you start jabbing the body, it lowers me more. And you slip that or fake it, make him react to it, bop, right on the button every single time. I'm telling you this. If whether it happens now or in the future, that's going to be his downfall. And I think it could be a case in this fight. But I don't really see Reyes jabbing to the body too much. But I couldn't see a case of where Reyes playing on the outside, Prochazka being aggressive, probably leading early just based off offense and output, and maybe a little bit more significant strikes to start. But eventually, his over-aggression starts to lead him getting countered and getting himself put on the back foot when he gets buzzed. and make sloppy mistakes, sloppy technical errors that are part of his style. And Reyes started to, and also let me think another thing about them too. So Reyes is a wrestler. He's a good off defensive wrestler, but not a great offensive wrestler as far as MMA. And Prochazka, definitely a big hole in his game. It could be his wrestling. He works, he gets back to his feet well, but there's been plenty of times where he's been held down more than he needs to be, or more than what you would want from your fighter. Give him a lot of takedowns that you would not want from your fighter. Like I said, defensively, a lot of flaws. He switched stances a lot, but really in orthodox, like not orthodox, but in ignore that. But in southpaw, like it's just a front in a way to confuse his fighter, where he's really truly the most dangerous and really only, well, I wouldn't say only dangerous, but truly at his most dangerous at orthodox, where southpaw is just something to throw off his opponent's looks and reads a little bit. But again, this is a quick pick, and I'm already over quick pick time for real. But how to see this one? I think Prochazka's defensive flaws, and when he commits to his strikes, or not commit, but really like it's overzealous, over aggressive with strikes. Again, falls over his strikes. Hands are pretty much always down, especially when he's attacking. He can be dangerous, but again, I think he's gonna be able to. And it's gonna be in the cases of when he gets overzealous with his strike and start to fall and walk over into striking range with his hands down against a guy like Reyes, who has height, range, and power, and good instinctive boxing reflexes, and the power to land it and the looks to land it. I think that's going to be his downfall. And I think it's not going to be a case of one time of this happening. I think it's going to be a case of it's going to happen over the fight, and eventually Reyes is going to start to see it, and going to get his time and start to counter him often. And then eventually that's going to be his downfall. And I think it happens around the third round, where eventually he's able to start to land those counters consistently, walk him into a left straight, buzz him, follow him, walk him down, and knock him out in that third round. So in this one, I have Dominick Reyes via third round TKO.